Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2021 and a second part of this experiment where we're seeing what would happen if you had the perfect team in Football Manager. So we're with Slough Town, and when we left off last time we'd seen them get promoted from the Vanarama National League South, the National League and Sky Bet League 2, but that isn't it. They've also won the Europa League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup and the Community Shield. They have also won a couple of FA trophies, but unfortunately, if we have a look at that senior squad schedule for last season, the big problem was that they lost in the Papa John's Trophy Southern Section second round. I have a feeling this is because of the World Cup. I can't see many of their best players in this team, and unfortunately it meant that they did manage to lose a trophy, but I think they'll have another chance at the Papa John's Trophy next season, so we'll have to see if they can win it in this season where they're into Sky Bet League 1. But the other big thing is that they're also playing the European Super Cup, and they'll also have the Champions League to play for while in Sky Bet League 1. It's going to be really interesting to see how quickly they can win all of these big competitions and hopefully start racking up the Champions League trophies. Now the plan today is to go about 6 years into the future, just see how they get on, and then at the end of those 6 years I'm almost certainly going to terminate the contract of every single one of them so that we can see where they go next, who does the best and what kind of career they have outside of Slough. But also we'll get to see what happens to Slough as they inevitably fall back down the football pyramid without these 11 best players of all time. But we will have to see. I mean, at the moment the Slough team is not packed with talent. All of the top 11 players are those ones that we gave them. The rest of the players, the next best one is Jamie Cumming, a goalkeeper, and he's not exactly brilliant. He was brought in on a free from Chelsea though. But unfortunately they are going to struggle, I think, when those players leave, so it'll be interesting to see if they decline. And if you guys would like to see a final part to this experiment where I do kind of have a look at what happens to Slough, we see what happens to the players over time, do drop a like down below, and please do make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these experiments coming up every day on the channel. But let's go forward now about 2 years into the future and see if they can win a Champions League title. As you can see, the start to their time back in League 1 went pretty well. Pre-season full of goals, and then they start off with a 6-1 win against Bristol City. They do beat Chelsea 4-1 in the European Super Cup, a flurry of goals in that game, 5-1 it finished. They also had a 12-0 in the league. The Papa John's Trophy, which of course they're trying to capture after failing last time, is going reasonably well, and their Champions League debut was a 4-0 victory over Club Bruges, which is not bad going. Through in the Carabao Cup as well, they beat Borussia Dortmund 2-1 away from home, a little bit tight that game. Still going in the Papa John's Trophy as well. Borussia Dortmund and Club Bruges is not a bad first Champions League group, and they make short work of it, beating the Chelsea under-23s as well, and then beating Borussia Dortmund 4-1 at home this time. They are conceding a few goals here and there, but nothing to scare them. 3-0 over Walsall in the second round of the Papa John's Trophy. They win in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. They're winning absolutely everything. I mean, it's just totally relentless at the moment. Brentford, of all teams, in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. They were 3-0 up before having a man sent off, and they managed to hang on for the win. They also beat Millwall 4-0. Still going in that Papa John's Trophy. 4-2 in the second leg. 2 goals conceded though in the second half there. Brentford doing well, but through in the quarterfinal of the Papa John's Trophy. Champions League knockout stages, they beat Barcelona 1-0 away from home in front of 98,000 fans. Definitely one of the biggest nights in Slough's history right there. And then they win against Man United in the Papa John's Trophy semi-final. They win the Carabao Cup for the second straight year. Cullen Woolsard getting the goals, and then beat Barcelona 2-0 at home as well in front of 8,000 fans at Adams Park. Somebody was wondering whose stadium they're playing at. It turns out it's actually Wycombe Wanderers whose stadium they're playing at in their European nights, because obviously their own stadium wouldn't be up to code. And then a 3-2 extra time victory over Leeds. They nearly go out here but managed to hang on. They do manage to finally make up for last season by winning the Papa John's Trophy, 6-0 up before having a man sent off. And then PSG, they draw 1-1 away from home. The first game they failed to win that season in the quarterfinal of the Champions League, but a 3-1 win over PSG does the job. get through to the FA Cup final. Champions League semi-final, make short work of Chelsea in that home leg. 4-0 win, 3-0 away from home as well. But they lose the FA Cup final to Man City. That's a big blow. Paulo Dybala with the late goal, 88th minute. But they do manage to win the Champions League. You'd rather they lost the FA Cup than the Champions League. And they are Champions League winners. Kylian Mbappe unable to stop them. Champions League winners while also winning the Sky Bet League 1, also winning the Papa John's Trophy, and that's what you really want to see, Champions League and Papa John's Trophy in the same season. So that's League 1, Papa John's Trophy, Champions League, Carabao Cup, European Super Cup and Community Shield. It's not a bad return, it has to be said, not a bad return whatsoever. Oh no, they didn't have the Community Shield that season because they didn't win the FA Cup the previous year. So have they ever won an FA Cup? Hang on. No, they must have, because they made it into there, didn't they? Yeah, they went out of the FA Cup the previous year, but did they win the FA Cup this season? They did win the FA Cup earlier on in their season. And then in the Championship, we can run through this a bit quicker now. They've won pretty much everything. You can see another European Super Cup, Champions League, pretty easy group actually in there. And still winning everything along the way. No Papa John's Trophy now. They have outgrown that competition. They get past Arsenal in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. They beat Manchester United 5-0 in the final of the Carabao Cup. Through against Bayern Munich. Through against Barcelona 9-1 on aggregate. Absolutely fantastic performance. Through in the FA Cup. They actually drew against Sheffield United with their full-strength team pretty much. 2-2. That game finished. But they got through against Atletico Madrid, and then in the two finals, 2-0 win over Liverpool to take the FA Cup for only the second time, and they win another Champions League with a 3-1 victory over Juventus. They had the Club World Championship as well, and unsurprisingly, they got past PSG. Took extra time to get past Juventus, but then they beat Chelsea 2-1. Krasniqi and McCoy with the goals, despite that 89th minute effort from Darwin Núñez. They have now won the lot, except for the Premier League, having just made it to the big time. So you can see their current stadium is Slough Stadium. It is their own stadium. They've just built it in 2025, which is good to see. 15,000 capacity. If we look at the club details here, you can see reputation now pretty much at the highest it can go, and that's happened naturally. I haven't messed with that, but they're still only pulling a maximum of 25,000 fans into the stadium. They do have 117 million in cash though, and their stadium is in pretty good shape, can be expanded. Not great facilities though. You'll want to improve that, I would think, given that they're twice Champions League winners. But look at that rocket up the league table. They've done extremely well to get that high up that quickly. So what we'll do now is jump forward 4 more years. That will take us to the end of these players' time at Slough, and hopefully they've racked up a few Premier League titles along the way. Well, following on from that Club World Championship final, they've continued to pick up the trophies, took penalties to beat Manchester City in the Community Shield, but Inter Milan dispatched in the Carabao Cup. The Premier League proving no barrier to them as they continue to win absolutely everything, including another Carabao Cup 3-1. They do draw with Leicester, finally. A 1-1 draw in that game does mean that they don't quite have the perfect Premier League record, but they do win the FA Cup 5-0 against Man United. They do beat Man City 2-0 as well. And then when we look at, well, we'll have a look at the Premier League table afterwards. We know that they only dropped 2 points. They actually lose a friendly here to Eintracht Frankfurt. That's their first defeat for a long time. And then a 2-1 defeat to Liverpool in the league as well. Currently playing at Craven Cottage. Could it be that the shine's about to come off, because they've just lost 3-2 to Spurs as well. 2 league defeats in the same season. Draw with Carabao Cup with Man United in the Carabao Cup. They managed to come through 3-0, but then a draw against Watford. They do win the Carabao Cup 2-1, but they're just starting to show a few cracks as they win another FA Cup, another Champions League, another Premier League title. The cracks definitely coming through. Another draw with Liverpool here. Norwich holding them to a 2-2 draw as well. Actually came from 2-0 down to draw that one. Norwich, they beat Liverpool 4-0, and then all the rest of it comes with them. FA Cup, Champions League titles coming, but they still don't have that perfect season. Could this be the one? It's going pretty well, but they draw with Chelsea. I think we can give them that in the Carabao Cup, just sneaking through. 5-4 on aggregate. but still going. They've got the perfect record at the moment, and they've done it. Other than that draw in the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final, they do have the perfect season. They win the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, the European Super Cup, the Community Shield, and the Club World Cup with a 5-0 win over Manchester United. So they've finally done it. That makes it a really good place to end the time at Slough for all of these players, because look at that incline, look at that neat line at the top, winning title after title after title. If we look at the club's history here, their competition, 6 consecutive Champions League titles, 4 Premier League titles, 2 Club World Cups, a Europa League, 6 European Super Cups, 6 FA Cups, 7 Carabao Cups, 5 Community Shields. They've won absolutely everything that is possible as a club. A totally unprecedented period of success. They've got their new stadium now as well. That is fully grown. They've got Massimiliano Allegri in charge of the club. But if we look at the squad here, you can see they have now brought in some other big players as well. A few English players, Oliver Skip, Bologna, Parrott, Rice, Roberto, Alfonso Davies in there, Ismail Correa. They've got a decent team now. When you take these Gibraltarian players out, they do have a decent team to hopefully hang on to their position in the Premier League. It's going to be interesting to see if they're able to do that. Their club details, they now have the perfect reputation, as you would expect with all of their various trophies. Their maximum club attendance now up to 40,000. Bank balance is very, very nice, £363 million in there, and they've got the perfect training and youth facilities as well. So they really have become a top tier club, except for the number of fans they're getting in Slough and for their stadium, which remains on the small side. But other than that, they really have grown into an absolutely world-class club. But the next thing we need to do is look at the Gibraltarian national team's performances since we left off, which I think was here. Obviously, they had won the World Cup last time around, a 5-0 win over Belgium, given them that. 22-0 win over Liechtenstein is just out of control. They do win a European Championship as well. Tough group, Scotland, Portugal, Switzerland. They beat Albania though. Germany 3-1. That was a late comeback though. Pegged back by Germany. 2 late goals get them through. They beat England 5-0. They beat Italy 3-0 in the final. 10-man Italy there. And they're getting close to their first European League title as well, because they've just been promoted out of Division B. World Cup qualifying goes well, 16-0 win over Algeria in there. And then in the World Cup, they start off with a 10-0 victory over China. Double hat-trick for Ollie McCoy there. A lot of goals come in. They beat England, Brazil and Holland in the final, 2-1 to take that. And then finally, it looks like they're going to win that first International League, and they do just that by beating Spain 3-0 as well. A 10-0 over Australia in there as well. Ollie McCoy, absolute goal-scoring machine. European Championship, 10-0 in the quarterfinals against Romania. They also beat Germany 4-0, but England in the final, 2-1 victory, denying England any success at this point. And finally, they don't win a friendly, a 0-0 draw at Gibraltar's stadium in front of 2,000 fans. But that came after a 4-1 victory over the Netherlands in the International League final. And that takes us up to the present day. If we have a look at their competition screen, they're now twice world champions, twice European champions, twice International League champions, 6 trophies in 7 years for Gibraltar, top of the world rankings. They've only just got there after this rapid incline. They finally get there very recently. Amazing that they haven't been at the top the whole time. Current manager, they had Unai Emery in charge for a while, but Julio Ribas here, the Uruguayan, who must have been Gibraltar's manager at the time, he got to win all the big trophies. You can see Unai Emery had a good time, 2 years, 3 trophies. I don't know where he is now. He's currently Inter Milan, leaving the world's best national side to go and do that. But Gibraltar currently developing it into an excellent club. And if we have a look at this senior squad that we've got here, you can see Jack Mcknight, big player, £50 million valuation on him. He's had a good career there, a lot of goals, a lot of assists as well. He playing in the central midfield area. I don't think it's necessarily worth going through each of these players. I mean, you can see here their records are all equally fantastic. It doesn't matter where they play, they get a huge number of goals. So what I'll do is I'll just show the Premier League table over the last few seasons, because you can see how many goals they get here and how few they concede as well. It's enormous, their record in the Premier League. And then I'll go and show you as well the Golden Ball, and we'll see who's been winning it, because you can only imagine it's Slough. It wasn't until 2025 that one of their players actually won it, but they weren't in the Premier League, so they wouldn't get the biggest coefficients. And it was a Nigerian, Ada Okorogiehi, who got the first Golden Ball. I mean, he had a pretty good time of it. He's not actually been playing that much. I'm not sure why he's not been playing that much, but he hasn't been, and yet he still managed to win the World Golden Ball, which doesn't make a huge amount of sense. Warren Harris also managing to win it. I mean, look, 34 goals in 35 games, but Warren Harris had more goals. He just didn't have quite the average rating. Warren Harris did win it the next year, Ollie McCoy falling into second place, and then Ollie McCoy has won it the last 2 years. He's been out of control good. Look at his international record, 111 goals in 103 games. He can play either flank or up front, which is why he does so well in those positions. But I mean, really, it's absolutely fantastic. If we look at the Goalkeeper of the Year, Felix Davies, the Slough goalkeeper, consistently securing that. You can see all those clean sheets that he gets as he goes. More Golden Glove as well. Footballer of the Year, Player of the Year. There's maps across to the Golden Ball. And then the Team of the Year, almost all from Slough, but not all of them. Some of the Slough players dropping to the bench, which is interesting. So Frankie de Jong manages to get in there, and João Felix as well. Other players dropping to the bench. Now the final thing to have a quick look at is if we go to Slough, look at the senior squad. We just want to finally check in on how Okorogiehi's got on with Nigeria, see if they've managed to have a great time of it. I mean, a lot of wins there, showing a good start. Go back to 2023. Really, we're just seeing how they get on the cup competitions. Lose to Cameroon in the Africa Cup of Nations. World Cup doesn't exactly go great. Losing to Germany 2-1. I mean, that's an absolute bitter pill to swallow. That 91st minute equaliser, they could very much have got through there after 2 draws. Pretty poor World Cup campaign. But he does manage to lead Nigeria to an African Nations final, 3-1 victory in it, hat-trick for his country, doing the job. He got all of the goals to get them there as well. I mean, look at those goals, absolutely tearing apart every team in Africa, and they retain it as well. He scores twice there alongside Aussie men in the final to win another Africa Cup of Nations final. So at least they've had a good bit of success there, and hopefully he can translate that into a World Cup high quality performance. The final player we'll have a look at is Cameron Glib, who obviously had been playing for Scotland. If we have a look at Scotland's schedule over the last few years, then you can see not going particularly great. European Championships didn't go great, World Cup qualifying didn't go great. He's not able to have as big an impact just season in the final there for the European Championships. World Cup qualifying campaign going much better this time though. But unfortunately he's not had the best of career. Currently the captain of his country. We'll be hoping to see a lot more from him. But he is a centre-back, so there's only so much he can do. He still scored 7 goals in 70 games for his country as a centre-back, which is not bad. But what we are going to do now is we're just going to go and fire every single one of these players, and then in the next episode we will see where they end up, how they get on, and who wins the most competitions, who wins the most golden balls. So do drop a like down below if you're looking forward to seeing that episode. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, but until next time, see ya.